Hello and welcome to Growth Code. This is a small business opportunity meeting that we're gathered today to be able to talk about branding, social media, growth, advertising, all those things for your business. County Compass, who is here to help you be seen and heard, has hosted this, and we are excited to have our panelists here today. And we're going to let them go down and just introduce themselves. So please say your name, a little bit about yourself, and keep it short. Jesse.
Do I have a mic?
Yes.
Jesse Reynolds. I'm with County Compass. I'm a brand consultant. I help you build your business up from the ground and then market and promote, expose to your selected audiences. Just here to be a helping hand.
I'm Jen Robinson with Our Photo. I am a wedding and lifestyle photographer, and I can do headshots and branding shots, which is kind of on theme with today.
I'm Kelly Wood with Media Mosaic. It's a social media marketing company, but I can help with social media. I do coaching sessions, and I also do newsletter writing and some other smaller side items as well to help you with all your social media needs.
I'm Mark Land with Doc Rock, Smith Mountain Lake. We're an online radio station servicing Central Virginia and beyond. And we put a product out there with 70s and 80s music. We run just like a regular radio station, and we're hoping that you'll consider buying some advertising on our radio station. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Thank you, Mark, Kelly, Jen, and Jess. Thank you very much. We'd also like to introduce the pastor here at the church. This is Forest Community Fellowship. And Kelly, would you give Pastor Jeff your mic there? Just introduce yourself and a little bit about the church.
Great. So I am Jeff Witt, and I'm glad that we could actually host you for this. A little bit of background with me. I actually used to run a small business. So I've worked in corporations and all the complexities of that, and then small businesses with all the challenges of that. So I have a heart for that, and then so we're here to be able to support you in the community, and we're also working on our own branding and stuff too as well.
Great.
So it's just good. So we're glad that we could participate.
Thank you. We also have our little, well, not they're little, but they're good, our snacks and refreshments. And so our snacks today are provided by Frost Eat Love. Melissa, would you stand and just say hi? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Hi, I'm Elissa with Frosty
I'm
Love.
sorry.
You're fine, that's okay. And I've had my business since 2020. I'm doing cakes and cupcakes, and I'm now working more with the wedding. So I personally have actually worked with Jen with Our Photo. And as far as the branding, I'm also doing smash cakes, and I've actually had people approach me about doing cakes for marketing their business for other photographers as well. So I'm just here to learn more about marketing my small business because I don't know much about the social media and would love to get any and all insights.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And our refreshments today are provided by R&R Pool. Here you go, Jen.
So I also work with my husband who owns R&R Pool Care. We service pools. We do everything but build. Maybe one day. But we do weekly maintenance. We open, close. We can convert to salt water. We can help you get on track. If you can't have us do it every week, we can come teach you. We do it called Pool School and stuff like that. But I run his social media and his marketing for his business.
Thank you. Okay, so today we'll be, like I said, we'll be talking about all things marketing, advertising. Really, as a small business, Michelle and I were just talking about this today, you know, large businesses have a lot of extra people behind them that can do all the things behind the scenes. And small business owners, we don't. We have to do it all. And so how do we do that? with limited budgets and trying to, do all the things that we love. So that's what we're here today to talk about. And I have some questions for our panel. And then we're going to take some questions from the audience, if you have any. And then we're going to kind of wrap it up after that. So our first question is for Jesse, and I will give you this back in a second. Okay, so what is the market, how is marketing different than branding? I would like to know that.
Yeah, it's such an interesting question because for the longest time, I thought people were thinking they were interchangeable. And there's been so much confusion and honestly a negative stigma behind marketing as a whole. But I really think the difference is branding is who you are. Like it's the bones, it's the car, and marketing is the engine. It's how you tell people about who you are. It's the strategy, the campaigns, the promotion that really drives engagement and sales. So marketing efforts can really feel scattered without your base brand being built behind them, and good branding makes marketing flow extremely easy and almost passive.
Great, thank you. Okay, and Jen, I have a question for you. How can I leverage organic social media strategies to build brand awareness without spending money? Because you have done it on a shoestring budget, right?
Let's call it a zero budget. I have actually never spent money on Facebook. I currently leverage both Facebook and social media. We have a TikTok, but I honestly only use it to make the videos, and then I move them into Instagram. But I have never spent $1. So I tell people all the time, the biggest piece of leveraging organic social media strategies is consistently posting. It does not matter if you're getting a like, a 0 like, 20 million likes. If you are consistent, your name, your brand, you're showing up in the news feeds consistently. I will have people like and comment on old posts because it's come back up because I'm in their news feed. The other thing is engaging with your community, just because, I'm in a handful of groups, Lynchburg moms, Roanoke moms, Lynchburg like pool owners and things like that. So being able to watch when people are asking for the services that you use. And then of course things like this, being engaged in your community, going to events and telling your story about your brand. And then utilizing not just actual posts on the newsfeed, but the stories, reels, videos, live feeds. Like I was telling you guys earlier, we plan to do a YouTube channel very soon. So leveraging every option within social media, again, without having to spend any money.
That's great. Okay, and Kelly, tell us, let's see, when is it time to take the next big step in growing your small business? Some of us play around with social media and do those things, but sometimes it's not enough. So when is the next big step?
Exactly. A lot of small businesses start out doing their own social media, but when it becomes a hassle or when it becomes stressful and it's too much, a lot of times social media gets put to the side because they wear all the hats. It's a small business. They're the CEO. They do their own books. They do their own accounting. They do everything. And you're out there selling and marketing and doing everything. And a lot of times that gets put to the side. So when you see that you're starting to drop the balls that you've been juggling, then it's a good time to look and see what you can do to take that off your plate, whether it's hiring a bookkeeper, whether it's hiring a social media manager, or something else, bringing on a new employee. Those are all signs and signals that it's time to expand your business and take it to the next level.
Absolutely, thank you. Okay, and Mark with Doc Rock. So radio really isn't always the first thing new business owners think about anymore. There's so many different options. What would you say to someone who thinks radio
tell them to look in the history of radio.
Right.
Radio was going to be replaced by television. Terrestrial radio is going to be replaced by XM.
Right.
The only reason XM radio is still existing is because they got into the podcast genre. Podcasts are where it's at, and a little bit later I will explain how close radio and podcasting really are. But radio's not outdated. Radio's going to be around for the next 50 to 100 years. So I think every time somebody has written their obituary, they've been surprised.
Right.
And there's been some interesting things that have happened in radio over the years. AM radio, there was a big brouhaha just last year that they were not going to put them in cars anymore.
Oh, wow.
And people went nuts, and the radio industry kind of went nuts too.
Right.
And Congress dropped it, at least for now, because things like talk radio and sports radio actually back in the 80s and 90s breathed a whole new life into AM radio, because you didn't have to listen for the quality, although people listen to their phones.
Right.
Like I listen to the transistor radio, and I'm that old. So, I don't think it's going away anytime soon.
Right, yeah, great. Okay, Jesse, what should businesses do to define their brand identity when launching or undergoing a rebrand?
Yeah, I think you really have to take a look at yourself as the entrepreneur, the business owner, as well as the business that you're trying to create, the audience that you're looking to have, the values, really what you're trying to display, because your business comes from you as an entrepreneur. Like, it comes from a part of yourself. Like, your values, your interests and likes are poured into your business because it is you. And you got to do what makes sense for you, your customers, your business. And then you can kind of finally get to the fun part, which is the logos, the colors, the designs. But I think the biggest thing is to just stay authentic and stay on brand with every action you take, from that creative process to actually executing your business.
Great, thank you. Okay, Jen, what are the best free tools or platforms that I can use to schedule, manage, and analyze my social media posts when I'm doing them by myself?
So there are quite a lot, and I'll tell you, I don't utilize any of these. So there's one that's called Buffer, and then Hootsuite, Later, TweetDeck, Zoho Social, Social Bee, Content Cow. There's a lot of options for scheduling your posts, for managing your posts, for analyzing your posts, stuff like that. To be honest, I use Facebook's Business Suite Manager religiously. It helps me schedule posts. It helps show you when is your audience engaging on social media. It learns your audience. Like, my social media might be really active on Tuesdays at 9 p.m., but County Compass might be on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. and another service might be, on Saturdays at noon. So it learning your business of when people are liking, when people are commenting, when people are sharing, to me has been invaluable. And again, that's a free service within Facebook. It also is going to allow you to see what days you're posting, which I mentioned earlier, consistent posting. If you're looking and you're seeing big gaps, I need to fill those in with some posts because I haven't posted in a while. And staying on people's news feeds is just super important.
Quick question. Does that second green light have to be on this mic like that one? That's the techie in me wanting to make sure.
Might be the battery.
I don't
it's one
know.
and two.
Could be.
Yeah, it might be microphone 1 and microphone 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair point, because I charged both of them at the same time, so hopefully it's
Hopefully it's working.
hopefully, yeah.
Lights not on. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
It's
I
just like
appreciate
it
that. We'll find out.
Okay, Kelly, as a social media manager, how do I know when I need to hire, when it's time to hire?
All right, as I mentioned before, when things become overwhelming
Yes.
and you notice things start getting dropped or put aside, that's definitely a sign that you need help. And whether you want to bring in a professional or bring in another person in your business, Somebody needs to be dedicated to that because it's important to grow your business. It's important for your branding to be out there and to be seen. It's so important, and as Jen mentioned, it's free primarily. So that you can do paid advertisements and whatnot, and many times those are successful. But so much of it is free, you don't want to miss out on the opportunity that you have through social media. Knowing your audience, you know which social medias are going to be the ones where your audience is going to be, and zone in on that. A social media manager, though, is going to be able to tell you what's going to work and what's not going to work based on the analytics, based on your audience demographic, and so many different things that you may not know or understand or want to know and understand, and come in and help grow your business that way.
And you also can provide training, not just do it for them, but you also can provide training.
Exactly. So myself and many social media managers offer coaching sessions where we get together and find out what your goals are and what you're looking for, and then we can strategically pinpoint the type of social media that you need and talk you through it, coach you through it.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, Mark, with all the digital options out there, where does radio fit in for small business marketing in 2025?
I think if a radio station doesn't have a stream, they are so far behind the curve. There are so many platforms out there now, and we're just a little online station, and we can be heard on 3 or 4 of those platforms.
But you're heard around the United States.
Well, yeah, I'm heard
too,
all
right?
over through
Yes.
all those platforms.
Yes,
Like
yes.
I have consistent listeners from Canada and other countries even.
Right.
I think I brought these props, so I want to bring them out.
Okay, good, bring 'em out.
So this is what we used to listen to, radio.
Oh, wow.
A little transistor radio here with an antenna if my fingernails work. So that's what we listen to. Now we listen to this.
Oh,
Almost the same size.
Yeah.
Except this device here talks to that.
Right.
And so this is our radio now. It's almost like digital's almost muddied the waters in a way. Because when someone gets into their car, their Apple Play is probably going to turn off, or
Right.
turn on rather. My wife's car, which is a little newer than mine because I have what's called a redneck Bluetooth. You plug it into the cigarette lighter and tell her which station to broadcast
Right.
to. My wife's car, we can go in shopping, come back out, and automatically her Bluetooth will connect to the phone and start playing where it left off.
Right.
So the digital realm is quite amazing the way that it works now. As far as the marketing aspect, I think if any radio station is not using all what these ladies over here are offering, and unfortunately I just had a friend tell me Doc Rock barely has a pulse online, so that was a month or 2 ago. So I've been working hard and just trying to get content up there, and like you mentioned, I got somebody to respond to something that was 3 weeks old because now I'm posting a couple of things every day, and even scheduling it because you help me with that.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how it all ties together, and radio is just that one part of this whole digital broadcasting aspect of things now.
Yes.
So
awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, Jesse. What are the benefits of combining, as we were talking just a minute ago, of combining digital, print, and word of mouth in a promotional campaign?
Love it. Yeah, everyone here does so many important things, and kind of my job and what I love to do is piece them all together in the best possible way. For everyone's business is different. So I think having a combination and being able to be seen from all sorts of different angles and these certain methods that they'll work on different people, obviously in your audience differently. So they do say seven touches gets you a sale. I don't know who said that, but sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less.
Probably Zig Ziglar. That's all they're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. By somebody trying to sell marketing.
Right, yes, yeah.
Those
That's right.
people. But they all these methods build credibility. They build the image of your brand. All these marketing methods build the image of your brand in your customers or your potential customers' heads. So you never know if it was the billboard or the t-shirt, the water bottle, or your neighbor's Facebook referral post that really converted that customer. But honestly, you got to think it's a combination of each of them. And that's why I think marketing is really, like, a lot of people love the numbers and those. I really think it's such an intangible thing when you bring it all together, because you don't know what it was. Was it that park bench that just had this lady's face on it, and now you're buying a house because of that? So I think it's more than the X's and O's, and it's really just making sense is the easiest way to do business.
Yes. So explain to me one more. So branding is a color or something that. So for me, bling. Everybody, it's all.
You're well, Andrea.
Am I well branded?
It's very branded.
So it's important, no matter what kind of business you have, to have that, like you were saying, a personal touch, like a park bench that with a familiar face on it. So, okay, that's awesome.
It builds that trust.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
And your customers can sense realness and authenticity.
Yes.
If you're trying to sell to someone,
right,
and you're being fake about it,
yes,
customers can sense the customers and your girlfriend.
Oh yeah, and mom always knows. Okay, pass it on to Jen. Okay, Jen. So, what are effective ways to collaborate with influencers and other brands when I don't have a budget for partnership or paid collaborations? Because that can get pricey.
Sure.
If you're doing it, trying to do it without money. So
I actually didn't know how pricey it was until I recently talked to another business owner about someone that they brought in to do like a promotional video situation and all that kind of stuff, and to hear the travel costs and putting the person up costs, and then the cost of the interview and then taking to dinner and things like that, like insane to me. But you can hand me the magazine. I'm going to use a prop too.
Yeah, you got props.
I love props.
Needs props.
So, we're talking about branding, and both of our businesses, but mainly my husband's, our brand is we're a family-owned business. My husband actually just hired, and it's his cousin. So literally still family-owned. And like one of those partnerships was Forest Living Magazine. I photographed the families for this magazine. We got to be the family for December, so we got to be on brand.
Yes.
And then I, in turn, get to advertise in this magazine at no cost to me. I do branding and family shots for a local beef farm, and in turn, I get packages of beef for free. I'm doing a branding session for a skincare place, and I'm getting facials for free. So, like, being able to leverage those things back and forth has really helped me. It also then helps when I go to post it on social media. I get to tag that other business and say, I got to work with X business, and then all of their followers get to see my business too. So we're leveraging that, and then being able to do things like this, coming and guest starring in a panel, or being a part of a summit or a seminar or something like that is a big part of it too. And then collaborating with other businesses for giveaways. I've given away sweets. I have given away lots of things that, like, I've had people donate to me, and then again I'm tagging them in the post to give it away, and their followers are seeing it, and then people are now getting an item from me and from that other business. So I've now just increased awareness about both brands.
Yeah, that's great. So Kelly, what are some common misconceptions about social media marketing?
Social media marketing, it has a lot of misconceptions. First of all, that it's easy. Everybody's on it. I've been on Facebook for years. I can do this. And they don't realize the intricacies that are involved in making it successful. So that's definitely one of them, saying, well, they're just, a social media manager is just going to do what I'm doing anyways. And that's not true, because a social media manager, a good one, will really study your business, study your brand, study your audience, and then come up with a strategy of how to post, where to post, which social media platforms to use, and so many other things. Automation was mentioned earlier, scheduling your post. Well, I can schedule those. I can do that through the Meta Business Suite. Yes, you can, if you have the time to take away from your sales and your branding and other marketing to do that. So again, a social media marketer or social media manager is just going to be focused on that one thing and give you so many hours, to do that, whereas you don't have that time anymore because your business hopefully is growing, or you're trying to grow it to get to that next level. So you've got so many other things going on that you're not going to be able to put the same time into it, even if you do automate. And another misconception is social media is just about likes. It's just a popularity contest. No. It's about building your audience. It's about building a relationship. And you do need to take the time to answer those questions, to somehow comment on the comments and draw that audience into more. The spending time and going in and commenting on other small businesses, their posts, so then they're seeing yours. And as Jen said, that all of that is cross-posting, and the information gets out there. Most small business owners don't have the time to do that and do it well, so that's another misconception.
Now, could I hire you, Kelly, for just a specific social media platform? So let's say I got Facebook, I've kind of figured that out, but this TikTok thing is just way over my head and I don't know what to do with it. Can I hire you just to focus on something like that?
Absolutely.
So I don't have to hire you for everything. I could
Right.
hire you for something specific.
Right. Most social media managers have different packages at different levels, depending on how many hours that they're going to need to put into it based on how many platforms. If it's just one platform, then they can expend all their energy and time on that one platform. Or in a coaching session, teach you how to do that platform if you do have time to go ahead and do that. But yeah, you can do one platform or multiple platforms.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, Mark. I want to try my hand at radio ads, but I don't know what makes a great radio ad. Like, how is that different than something I would post on Facebook? And how do I do that? And do you have any tips for first timers?
I think from the beginning of time, we've been driven by stories.
Yeah.
And so I'm a people person, okay? My wife and I go to Sam's. My wife's got a list. I want to see who I might run into at Sam's. So that's just how we're wired differently, okay?
Right.
I am genuinely interested, and I think these folks are too, with the people that they're working with.
Yes.
We're not just in it for the money, because if we were in it for the money, we'd be scratching our heads saying, why aren't we making enough?
Right.
So
Right.
we want to have those relationships.
Yes.
And I love hearing people's stories, how they started, because a small business takes a unique person, because you have to be self-motivated even on those days you don't want to be.
That's right.
Those days that you want to throw in the proverbial
Yes.
towel. So
Update that resume.
Right. So I love hearing the fight
Yes.
that they've had, and I want to be able to package that. I'm taking a room full of information and I'm trying to make it fit on those two seats in front of me.
Wow.
So, but it can be done.
Yes.
And it can be done skillfully, I believe, and with the aids that we have and communicating with just other people. I've sent stuff to you, for example,
Yes.
for approval.
Yeah.
Get another set of eyes on it,
Right.
or ears, in
Right.
case, because I've sent you commercials before to
Yes.
say, what do you think?
Yeah.
So it's relational relational part
Yes.
that I love about what I get to do,
Yes.
is collaborating with other smart people, smarter than me in many cases.
Yes.
And I can glean a lot from that. And that all is part of my composite of who I am, that helps me, I think, build a better commercial for someone.
Okay, great. So what I'm hearing a lot of is relationships, stories, being authentic. I think that's all including in what's happening here. Trust. That's all part of the branding and marketing and what we're doing. We're gonna take some questions from the audience now, and then I'm gonna give you guys one last chance to kind of say something at the last. So think about that as we take audience questions. Do I have any questions from the audience? Any questions? Anything at all? Yes, ma'am. Here we go. And y'all are gonna have to share that microphone up there.
I don't need my.
Oh, no, you were recording it, so we want to hear it. So go ahead.
I have Miss. I can't remember her name.
Oh, Kelly?
Kelly. Miss
Yes.
Kelly. So you did say that you offer packages for the social media managing. What are some of the packages? Like, what are the details behind it? Because me personally, being a small business owner, I have 3 platforms, but I lag severely on TikTok and Instagram. I hardly ever use them. I'm always focused on Facebook. So what kind of package deal would you have for somebody like me who only uses 3 platforms? That's it. That's my bare minimum. I don't want no more. I cannot do no more.
Great question. Go ahead, Kelly.
Well, I have some basic packages, and they've got certain things in them, but there's always that custom mode that I can customize a package to suit your specific needs. When it comes to TikTok, I find a lot of people think that TikTok is where they need to be because it's really popular and it's the hot thing, short form videos, that's what everybody wants. You need the platforms where your audience is, the people that you want to become customers. And for most of us, Facebook is still number 1 because that's where the demographic is. Women ages 35 to 55, and men even a little bit younger, 25 to 45. That's where you're going to be. So then we could craft a package that would be suitable for your need. If it's just Facebook, if it's Facebook and Instagram, if it is TikTok, we can fix it to whatever your needs are based on the strategy that we come up with and your goals for business. So it's not necessarily just about, hey, I don't know how to do TikTok. I think that's where we need to be. I would sit down and meet with you and say, well, let's look at, who do you sell to? Who are your customers? And then we would create a package that's perfect for what you need.
Great. Thank you very much.
I have a question. If you could give small businesses one piece of advice that you feel is just paramount, what would it be? Just one piece of advice.
I want to go down the panel, so start with Jesse and. Can you turn the?
No.
I want my limelight.
I was talking in class. Sorry.
Seen and heard. He wants to see that.
That's all I really ever want. I would say just have a genuine curiosity, but also desire to help people. That's really all it takes, and that keeps that fire burning that Mark was talking about when you're ready to end it all, give up. That genuine, hey, I want to help these people. That keeps going.
That's great.
Raw authenticity. When I post about that I want to do foster care sessions, I offer those for free. They're at no cost. And that's because my sister and brothers were in the foster care system. Talking about why you do what you do. You know, when I talk about, we talk about family owned and operated business, that's important to my husband because he left his other job because there was a family issue that he didn't feel like he was treated properly by the corporate industry. So now he owns his own business so that when something family comes up, we're gone. We're taking care of it. So being authentic and honest, rawness, being open about why you do what you do, why you are offering what you're offering. And I feel like that resonates with people, that you're being not just truthful, but honest and raw.
Absolutely, I agree with both of them. Those are really important. And I'm going to go back to what I was just talking about with the previous question. It's know your audience, know your customer base, understand what problem you can solve for them. And that is what they're going to be looking for. And that's how you're going to continue to have customers coming back as well as gaining new customers.
I guess mine is one of the most practical, not that theirs aren't, but get out of bed. I do morning radio. I have to get up really early.
How early do you have to get up, Mike?
I used to get up at 4. I've been able to bump that out just slightly. But I think I could safely say I'm the oldest on the panel. And getting out of the bed and going about 20 steps before I hit those 4 steps, because I'm on a split level, finally my ankles are starting to say, okay, you can do this today. And then I can get to the kitchen, and then I can turn my coffee maker on. Hallelujah. Church. So knowing that you've got to get up every day and you're going to face challenges. I just had to talk to an insurance guy today and Franklin County people about tax stuff that I didn't even know was coming my way. But those are the challenges that we all hit as small business people, and I think that's why it's important that we talk to other small business, because they share those same frustrations, and they'll give you a pat on the back and say, come on, you can do it. So get up and get moving, and move enough steps to where the ankles don't hurt so bad.
Yes, yes. You have a question?
So this is only if you feel comfortable answering it. I want to know about one of or your toughest business day or situation, and what got you through it. It could be the things that you guys have already said, but it could be a family member, I don't know. But I want to know, why did you stick around even when it got hard?
Great question. So let's start with you, Mark, since you've got the microphone.
Mine was pretty recent. At the end of last year, I was part of a partnership that dissolved, and I was the one left deciding whether we would continue or not. And I had a business for 20 years. Construction is my background, radio is my passion. And my last day of business, I started closing my business in June because I didn't want to do a day of business the following year, because I knew if I did one day of business, I would have to file for the whole year. I understood that after 20 years. So when I walked away from that business, I had open heart surgery, by the way, the next year, because it almost killed me. I didn't think I would be facing, I had some of those same emotions came over me in December when I realized this partnership wasn't going to make it. And that's okay, because we're all still friends and good things, and we're still working together. But that was a tough decision to say, I want to keep going, because I've mentioned my age way too many times, but I just don't have the energy level that I did in my 40s.
Right.
And so, that was a decision recently. I had to say, I want to keep plowing forward. And my last year, even with the partners, I was never part of any of these kinds of situations, which is actually an encouragement to me to be asked, number one, but number two, to be able to just sit around with other folks that are, here again, doing the daily grind every day.
Right.
So, like I said, I just keep getting up.
Yeah, that's great.
My business is still a new business. I just really got started in the fall, although I've been going with working in social media marketing for several years under a much larger digital marketing company. This was new to me, and not what I'm doing is new, but having a business. And so far, I'm grateful that I haven't run into any major issues other than just trying to grow that business, getting out of bed every morning and meeting new people, getting my name out there, getting my branding out there so people recognize when they're scrolling and they stop to see what Kelly has to say. And, but from past experience with a small business, one of the hardest things to deal with, especially when you know you're doing your best, you're trying to do your best for your customers and whatnot, and you get a bad review. You get something was just a little off, or maybe they were having a bad day and you were the person that they were going to lash out against, even though you did nothing. Dealing with negative reviews is hard for anybody. I don't care how tough you are, but you've got to buckle up and respond to that, and show them that you care, and that if there is something that's fixable, you will fix that, and so it doesn't happen to someone else. But that's part of business. It's going to happen. You're going to have an unhappy customer at some point, but just be professional, be gracious, rise above their attitude, and see what you can do to help and make it right.
Great, thank you.
Good stuff.
Mine's really hard to pick. I've been in business for 15 years. So my most recent I did almost walk away from weddings. I almost changed my business model and went to just lifestyle. About 2 years ago, I did a wedding, and the day went off a hitch. It was a beautiful wedding. Everything was great. I delivered the wedding gallery, and the groom's mother left a bad review on my Facebook page, stating that I ignored the groom side. I didn't have enough. I had more pictures of the bride than I did of the groom. She didn't have a picture of her and her son by herself, things like that. And I very politely responded, and I said, based upon your review, I've changed my business model. I now require a client list. If you do not show up to the wedding with a client list, you must sign a piece of paper that says, I understand there may be some shots missed, etc. I appreciate, but in reviewing the gallery, I do have XYZ pictures of you and your son, and I'm counting, I'm matching, I'm not sure what you're talking about. And actually, it turned into a positive experience because someone on TikTok took her review and put it behind her and read it, and then asked the audience, what do you think? That video got 8 million views.
Wow.
I had people from Australia, the UK, and Canada messaging me, apologizing for her behavior.
Wow.
I got reviews from people I've never met saying this girl's work is phenomenal. The gallery was public, anybody could look at it. It was actually the biggest gallery I'd ever delivered in my life. So, to say there weren't pictures of something, it was just insane to me. It blew my business up. I had this girl say, I wish you were in X state because I would love to hire you. And I was like, I'll travel, girl. That experience taught me a lot. It pushed me to get the client list as a part of my contract. Yes. It literally says, if you show up to your wedding day and I have not collected a client list from you, you are now signing an additional piece of paper that says if any shots are missed, so must have a picture of XYZ. Right. And if this picture is missed, I'm in trouble at that point because it was on the list. Right. And then there was something as simple as another picture was easily cropped, to take someone out, and then boom, there's the picture she wanted. So it was a negative experience. I legitimately almost walked away from weddings, but then the TikTok came, and then it was message after message after message that just kind of pumped me back up, and I was like, okay, they're right. Yeah. The whole world can't be wrong, right?
That's awesome.
So probably early last year, I kind of finally felt like I was in a position with my business to go full force, kind of take it head on, not let my other ventures go to the side, but kind of take them, slow them down a little bit. I'd put my partners and my team together, I thought, extremely well. I'm a people person. I kind of built my business around people, my team, my business partners. So I kind of jumped in and through all the risks and chaos to the wind, and like almost immediately, but both of parts of my team kind of started falling apart. There was like family issues, personal stuff, relocation, movings, everything you could possibly imagine. Like right at the moment when I jumped, the land seemed to, just bridge open. So here I was, like thinking I had all my people in place, thinking I had everything ready to go. We were about to just completely take off, and it went absolutely the opposite direction. I'm like, okay, how do I pay for rent for this brand new office that we got? I mean, just like doing everything, doing moving jobs, helping mom move furniture to get all the money that I could possibly get together just to keep the office dream alive. Like, hey, we gotta have the bunker, gotta have the safe house. So going through that and finally coming out on the right side of it, right around this moment, right around now-ish, that was probably the worst possible thing that could happen, because it was almost like, is the dream finally ripped away from us.
Yeah, great. That's great. That's phenomenal advice that you guys have given, and that's something that's phenomenal advice that you guys have given, and something that we did touch on, but we actually have through is social media can be great for business, and it can be detrimental as well. Radio can be great for business, and it can be detrimental as well. So, just reviews people and say, coming back. So I loved hearing kind of, how you handled your negative experience. And Kelly, you just learning, figuring that out and how to, handle that as well. And I think we just have to remember that as all, we have to treat social media as it's not the be all end all. And we do, as many people as that do respond back in a negative way, we have to learn how to handle it in a positive way. So that's very important. Okay, we just have a few more minutes. Is that right? Are we? Yes. Okay. So I just want to give you guys a chance one more time to go down. And I want to give you guys a chance to just give, 1 minute of just a last thought, that something that you made notes on, you're like, I really want to make this point and I didn't get to say it yet, or I've got another prop that I want to use, Mark, and I didn't get to use it. So if you guys will just go through and just go ahead and make that last point here. And let me give this to you, Jen. You can give that to Kelly. Can we start, Mark?
I'm sorry. I've got several props. Who brings an 8-track? Huh?
Look at that! I knew you had more in there.
8-track was going to replace the radio. Then the cassette came along, and then the CD came along.
Yes.
And now we do everything on our phone, which is quite amazing. But I think the thing I didn't really talk about, and I'll take my time just to do that, is talk about podcasting, how important it is.
Yes.
Podcasting, and I wanted to set it up with a story, but I don't have time, but I'll say it anyways. In the late 60s, I went in it was almost a boat. It was a station wagon, a big Chrysler, and I went with my cousins and my aunt, my mom, and we went to Miami Beach from Pennsylvania.
Wow.
This was a trip and a half.
Yes.
And there was 6 or 7 kids, my cousins, and all of us enjoyed ourselves. And I thought, that was a neat experience. Radio and podcasting are cousins. Just like we all went to the beach many, many years ago, decades now, and had a great time. Podcasting is really important because it's grown. It's almost doubled in the last 10, 15 years. I mean, we're up to like 200 million people. Wow. And 58% of the people that listen to podcasts are Americans. Wow. So that gives us, and all of these folks, no matter what they do, everybody can be part of a podcast. I just get to do it because I usually offer that as a gift to anyone that comes on and does, commercials with us. I give them a free podcast. So it's a neat way of telling their story, and it's a neat way for us to incorporate what we're trying to do with radio.
Yeah.
So I did want to get that out there about podcasting being a close cousin
Yes.
to radio, and we're both going to be around a long time.
Yes,
I hope.
thank
I think.
I would like to add that you're just re-emphasizing what social media is meant to be social. It can be used for your business, but use it to tell your story, to build relationships, have a conversation. It's not supposed to be just a billboard. Your post shouldn't constantly be, this is what I can do for you, hire me. It needs to be that conversation. It needs to be on a personal level. You need to share yourself and draw your audience in as part of the extended family, so to speak. So it can be a very vital part of your business. This day and age, I don't know anybody that doesn't have a cell phone that wouldn't be part of your demographic. And so social media is out there. It's primarily free. When you think about that and you think, well, it's free, so why would I hire somebody to do it for me? Well, that is the expertise that you're hiring. And yes, that return on investment is going to be, in general, 3 times the income or the return in purchasing or whatnot than what it would be if you were to continue doing it yourself and not fully understanding it. Now, there are people like Jen who does their own, do a phenomenal job. She understands it. She has the time to get in there to understand the analytics and the algorithms and the different things that you need to know. A social media manager like myself is going to help you do those things if you hear those words and go, huh? What is that? Or it gives you a headache just thinking about doing it and doing it well. So consider that if your business is expanding and growing, or consider it if your business is not expanding and growing and it's stagnant. And you need that growth. You need to level up to the next level, and a social media manager can get you there.
Yes. That's great.
I guess I would talk 2 different things. One, going back to consistency, there's a big push to make sure when you're being consistent, because, I will look at people's social media and not hire or not buy because it's non-existent. I don't even know if you're still open.
Right.
Like, I don't even know if you still do what you claim you do because you haven't posted in 2 years. And then same thing goes for, if I follow your social media to a website that doesn't work, or a phone number that doesn't work, or an address that's wrong, making sure that those things are up to date is a huge part of your social media too, because if people can't reach you, not everybody feels comfortable messaging you on social media. Maybe they want to call, maybe they want to email. And if those avenues don't exist, how are they contacting you? And to Jesse's point earlier about digital, print, word of mouth, while our companies don't spend money on social media, we do spend money elsewhere. Of course, this was no money, and I leverage that big time. But we do spend money on, being a member of the CVUC, and then we utilize everything that comes into that. The billboards, the print discounts that we get with that, being able to attend things like the summits and the seminars and stuff like that. And then being able to leverage, at the Lead On Summit, I offered headshots, and then offered, if you missed your headshot or you want more, here's a deal because you're a member, for cheaper price. And then, he mentioned too, you don't know where your audience is coming from, because we ask all the time, how'd you hear about me? And every time the answer is Google. How did we get there?
Right.
What made you Google me? Or did you Google pool care or photos and you got to me? Because I don't spend any money on Google either, but I was a business analyst for Google for a Christian university for 3 years, and I know how to leverage Google without spending money. So, literally, my husband's company's name has Pool Care in the name. So when you search Pool Care Lynchburg, guess what? We're number one. And I don't pay to be there. But that's on purpose. Our brand is on purpose. All of my social media is our photo Lynchburg. So when you look up photos in Lynchburg, guess what? I'm number one on Google too, because of the name. It exists. We just found out the other day that Sweet Indulgence Bakery is the same thing. When you look up bakery in Lynchburg, she shows up in the top results too, because bakery Lynchburg. So leveraging those kind of things are huge on branding, because we're making sure when you're looking for pool care, it's in our name. There are other companies out there that don't have those words in their name. So when you go to Google them, unless you're looking for their name or unless they've paid, they may not be there. Same thing with Facebook if you were to put it in the search bar. So leveraging all of those things and then consistently posting and making sure everything is up to date, because I would hate for somebody to call and that number is wrong, because I lost how much money, because one customer doesn't equal one customer. One customer equals how many customers.
Good.
Oh, beautiful. Just do what you like to do. Aren't you so much better when you're doing what you're interested in, when you're doing what you enjoy?
Yes.
Like, use your God-given talents, pour that into your business. And I love seeing that. I think I have such a knack for seeing and emphasizing the strengths and like promoting people at what they do best, and like just seeing them at their full potential. So just keep pouring your God-given talents into your business, and it's just going to make you so much better in what you do.
Yes.
I don't think I have anything other than that.
That's great. That's great. Well, we are truly honored by you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Can we give them a clap? Thank you. Special love the 8-track player there, Mark. That's impressive. But that's like an antique now, isn't it? Okay, and we'd like to, we just want to thank our panelists again and our sponsors. Make sure you guys get some really good goodies. Sorry, y'all missed out. So we get more. We've got refreshments over there. We've got delicious goodies from Frosty Love and refreshments by R&R Pool. And again, thank you to Forest Community Fellowship here in Lynchburg for letting us host. And of course, we are County Compass, and we are here to help you grow, to help you be seen and to be heard. And we just appreciate you guys. And please follow up with us. Give us reach out. We'd love to see how we can help you grow. Thanks.